Now, this video was highly requested, whether it was on X, I seen some YouTube comments, and a lot of people came into the stream and asked this, so I thought I would make this video. We also have a video dropping later today. Y'all gonna want to tune on that. This is probably coming out maybe 7 Eastern. The video later will probably be 11 Eastern. It'll be a late night gang video. But what is the best way to obtain nightmare fuel? Upper right hand corner, right next to the trophies. Whether it's overall, whether it's training, I'm using this video to break all that down. Because obviously, look, there's a multitude of ways that you can go out and get in and get into the Nightmare store, right? And obviously, the Nightmare store, there's a lot of things you can do in there. Obviously, the Shazier token, Dylan Stewart, but you obviously want to see what the best value is for your money, right? So hit the like button, drop a sub. I got to kind of do this now because Xerxes left us. You know, I know Xerxes usually help y'all guys out with this type of stuff. So your boy's going to try to fill in. Big Bro's going to try to fill in and see if we can make that happen. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Hey, ain't we been through it all? Then we sleep on them floors. Everybody we thought we needed, we don't need them no more. Run it up, don't check the score. No, I'm balling on.
All right, first things first. Now, I'm going to have all calculations and everything on the screen so you guys can see that we need to go to the auction house first to see what these Nightmare cards are going for. So they all quick sell, 87s, 89s, and 91s quick sell for Nightmare Fuel, right? So that's important. So to know that, so let's get into the Nightmares and see what these prices are going for. And I'm going to write it down on my notes what these are going for too and what you can get them for. So roughly around 45K, give or take. We'll say 45K for 87s is what you can get. So let me make sure I write that down. 45,000, right? So even when you sort down, sorry, as I hit my phone there, 45,000, you can get some under, we'll say 43 because there's a few right there for 43K, all right? So we'll go 43K for 87s. Go up to the 89s. 89s are usually around 100. So you can probably get, I know it's going to be scarce because these guys aren't that popular in terms of being utilized. So I'll say 99K. So there's a few up for 99K. And then obviously the big boys. The big boys, in my opinion, I've seen them around 200. So 200K, right? So 200K is what we got for the 91s. And got that all figured out. 200K, bada bing, bada boom, cool. So now before we get into anything, the best way is to go over to these events and play these events, man. The CPU event, the head, whichever event you want to play, this is the best way to obtain fuel, right? But obviously, if you don't have the best team or if you don't want to engage in head-to-head, I get that. Now, this right here, a lot of people had questions around this. There's 12 levels, right? In each level, you get an 87 overall. Plus, you can only pull 87 betas, 89 betas, or 91 betas. Now, if you get through all these levels and you pull multiple 91 betas, and if you don't want them, you quick sell them, right? And that's how you get a bunch of free fuel from just playing the game. So this is the best way to go and obtain fuel if you don't want to spend coins, if you don't want to do that. But obviously, some people don't want to do that, right? They want to go out and have some fun and try to pull some packs. This is against the CPU, and then you have your OT. And this is how you get Dream Fragments, right? And you use your Dream Fragments, and I don't know why I just went into the field pass, my bad. You use your Dream Fragments in a set in the Nightmare section to make that happen. So to me, I feel like everyone should do the Jerome Bettis. A lot of people are on the away team quits movement. So if your away team, you quit and you build it up that way. So looking at the rewards real quickly for the Sweet Dreams, 4 wins, you get a Dream Fragment, and then you get 3 wins, you get a small locker. You know, so I'll also talk about in this video what I like out of the Nightmare store as well. So, but that's breaking it down in terms of the events I feel like are the best when it comes to getting that free Nightmare fuel. Now, as we were talking about with the store, I'm gonna go through the store quickly, and then we're just gonna break down per what prices we looked at, how much it costs, what's the best value. To me, I'm staying away from all lockers. If you need a middle linebacker, I feel like you upgrade Shazier. I'm in the midst of upgrading my Shazier, and I'm actually gonna get rid of Sonny Styles because Sonny Styles is going for 1 million coins. And then also, this pack has been very, very good for a lot of people. Very, very good for a lot of people. So let's look at this. I broke it down here, and I have my calculator. So you can see 91s are 2,080 Nightmare fuel, 89s are 1,000, and 87s are 480. So if we go 87, right? Excuse me, not 87. 43,000 divided by 480. We get an 89.5 ratio. So if we go here, I'll make sure 89.5 ratio, right? Let's go up here to this one. I gotta get my calculator back up. So if we go, again, 99,000 divided by 1,000, we get a 99 ratio. I knew that because I was good at math. Didn't really need the calculator there. And then if we lastly we go to here and we go for 200,000 and we divide that by 2080, we get a 96, 96.1. So as you can see, as it's presently constituted, generally it's better to buy higher overalls. But right now, the 87s are the best buy. You get them at 89.5, and you can go about it that way, right? So if you are gonna buy fuel with coins, go through the 87s, not the 89s, 91s. If I get those, I would sell those and obviously get your coins and go get the 87s because obviously it's better benefit based off the numbers that we just came up with. Now, there's a couple more ways else you can get fuel, right? Obviously, you have the training store here. You have your 1800 pack, you have your 1500 pack. Now, to break this down, I'm also going to get my calculator because training right now is roughly around 15 per. If you can get it there, I do think training is going to continue to come down. But if we look at mutt.gg right now, and I will show you guys what training is at. If we go to prices and we look at training, you can see it's around 13, but that's for the lower overalls. You can get 87s at 30. That's why I say it's around 15 because these are the three most sought after for training. And this is where you can find the most training, the 87, 88, 86, 89 market. So that's why it's around 15 per, right? So remembering that number, if we actually take 15 times 180, because that's how much it costs for the training pack, right? So 15 times 180, that's 270K. So that's not good value, right? Because we know we can obviously go on the auction house and buy it for 200K, right? Not good value at all. Now, obviously, you have a chance to pull an LTD, right? So you got to factor that in consideration. But remember, we're not talking about pulling an LTD. We're talking about getting the best value of Nightmare Fuel. Now, 8,700. So if we go 52 times, again, we got to go 15 because that's our training. This pack costs 78K. Now, the difference between this pack and the 91 is you can get 87s, 89s, 91s. If you pull an 87, it's an L because it's costing you 78,000 to open this pack, right? But you can buy 87s off the auction house for 43K. And if you pull an 89, it's a W, right? Because you're getting a 99K card for 78K. So you're giving yourself 21K. And obviously, if you pull a 91, you're getting a 91 for 78K. So that's not a bad risk if you want to, but you got to remember, if you open this, there is a huge chance you're going to lose because it's going to be heavily factored towards 87s, right? Get it? Got it? Good. Understandable. Right. So I don't believe that arbitraging training into Nightmare Fuel is the best way to go about it at the current prices. Now, if training comes down a little bit, we get a little bit more flexible in how much we can buy and what we can buy, then we can have that conversation. But at this juncture, I don't like any of the training roles when we're going from training to fuel. Remember, this is what we're talking about, training to fuel. This is the best one. But if you get on a stinker where you get 5 straight 87s, you're cooked, right? You're cooked because for every, I think you lose 30K, 33K for an 87, gain 21K from an 89, and then obviously you gain like 122K from a 91. So you got to get on a couple heaters of 89s to even factor out a losing of 187. Now, last but not least, Nightmare Store. We talked about this briefly, man. This 91 plus pack, I don't have enough right now to go through it, but I've heard great things. I've seen great things out of this. Now, this is something to think about, right? Remember, 91s do quick sell for 2,080. So essentially, you would have to get 2 91s, right? So if you get 2 91s for 2,080 times 2, right? That gives you 4,100. So that means 40. So let's say hypothetically, we're getting our Nightmare Fuel at 89 per, right? So if we go 89 times, because that's what it costs for 87s. 89, this pack is still costing 311K to open, give or take. That's a lot. That is a lot to open up this pack. Now, if you hit an LTD, it's great, right? But this pack, again, until that coin to ratio, and apologize for in the background, until that coin to Nightmare Fuel to training ratio comes down, in my opinion, the best way is just to go out to buy your Nightmare Fuel. Now, I guess you can get lucky, right? Some people are going to get lucky, but for the majority of us, we're going to get cooked, right? Until that value of training comes down, and I think I need to have it in the lower teens, 10-9 range, in my opinion, before the value is really there to arbitrage training into Nightmare Fuel. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. Hopefully that breakdown really helped. Like I said, this was a question that I got a lot in stream yesterday and everything. So I was like, I'm going to make a video breaking this down so you guys can see a clear picture of why I feel, you know, what value is the best. And I think 87s at 43K is the best. And then you go from there, right? And obviously upgrade, do what you want to do, but that's that. So I appreciate you boys. Enjoy the video later on because that's pretty crazy too. But I wanted to drop this video for y'all so that way I get an understanding of it. I'm out. Deuces.